All right, folks. Johnny just dropped me off. There he goes. I'm heading to Dallas. Chief is rolling. All right, folks, we're sitting here in Las Vegas between flights. We're on our way to Dallas, Texas to take a look at a Acrosport 2. It's a experimental home-built biplane, and this one's in my price range. We won't really know what we're getting into until we get there, but hopefully we'll fly it home.
So you remember, you're probably around my age.
The fellow that's gonna meet me is about to pick me up. I'll tell you something, it is cold out here. I think it's, last time I checked it was like 13 degrees or 14. And I don't know how I'm gonna get out of here without freezing in that little plane. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I got some warm gear and gloves and stuff, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough. There she is. 7042 uniform. Oh, she's a fancy machine. A little dusty. All right, I'm gonna check her out. Yeah, this is a pretty cool airport down here in Texas. Plenty of open ramp space, lots of fields. I'm not buying the plane. I climbed into it and I didn't fit quite as well as I hoped I would. And then I didn't expect it to be perfect by any means, but it was a little rougher than I thought. So, you know, this will end up being a $700-800 trip flying down here, but I'm flying home tonight, and I feel good about the decision. I just got the feeling that I didn't want to buy the plane, and so I told the guy, and so I only really looked at it for about 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and I would have liked to spend some more time checking out the plane, but I told him I'd just be wasting your time because I didn't want to buy it. So, all right, I'm gonna head into downtown and go to the Irish pub and then find a flight home. I never get tired of hanging out at an airport and watching the action. All right, folks, the old aeronaut is back in the hangar with the Super Chief. I got in pretty late last night, and Johnny came and picked me up from the airport, so thanks for coming to get me, Johnny. I was thinking about my decision and still kind of processing the last day or two, and I think the main factor with that airplane with me is that just how tight I was in the cockpit. And you know, if I find a biplane to buy, you know, the reason I'd be buying it is to go out and do some aerobatics with it, and I'd want to have a parachute. And with that plane, when I was sitting in it, I'm about 6 feet tall, and when I was sitting in it, I was comfortable, but there just wasn't any extra space. And the cushions the guy had were pretty thin. They were thinner than what I think a parachute would be. It looks like most of your kind of emergency parachutes run around 2 1/4 to 2.5 inches thick. So by the time I put a parachute on, I think I'd be really crammed in there. And the other thing too is that on those home builts, they're pretty much all plans built, and you pretty much kind of build them the way you want. And so a lot of guys will build them to kind of fit themselves. And so I suspect that the original builder was probably a little bit shorter, maybe 5'10" or something, and it probably fit him real nice, kind of with or without a parachute on. But it would have been pretty hard to reposition the seat. And I probably would have wanted the seat to be about maybe 2 inches farther back. The other thing that I didn't really think about till afterwards is that I probably could have made do with the seat if the dash wasn't so crammed into my face. And because the dash kind of came over the top of my knees by at least a couple inches, and so I couldn't really just stand up out of the cockpit. I I don't know, I kind of had to shimmy a little bit to get myself stood up in it, which means that, I think if I were in a situation where I had to bail out of the plane, I think it would have been tough for me to get out. And if I, got into an accident on the ground, I just felt that, the plane started on fire or something like that, I think it would have been tricky for me to get out. So I just didn't like that feeling in that plane. I think somebody probably a little bit shorter, maybe a little lighter weight, could probably feel very comfortable in it, and would probably be a great plane for them, but it just wasn't the right fit for me. I wish there was an Acrosport nearby that I could have gone and tried out before I went all the way to Texas, but it is what it is at this point. In the meantime, I'm going to go try on some other biplanes and just see to make sure next time I go halfway across the country to buy a cheap plane, I fit in it. And as far as the condition of the plane goes, it was about what you'd expect for a low cost budget airplane. I think there were a few things that I definitely would have wanted to address if I bought it, but it wasn't. The wings weren't going to fall off it tomorrow. At least I don't think they were. So, all right, I'm going to put the rest of my tools away and get the chief ready for a flight. I think we're going to go check out Ranchero Airport tomorrow. So, anyways, no biplane adventures today, but someday. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe up here and like and comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So long.